This video is for anyone who has ever wondered what it would feel like to be at death's door and have the opportunity to reflect on life. Well, we are here today with that exact opportunity, because in today's video we will be discussing the most common regrets of the dying. But before we get into this video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe so you can be notified when we release our next video. Welcome back to our channel, where today we are going to discuss the most common regrets of the dying. But this time, unlike other videos we've done on this topic, this one will be from the perspective of hospice workers who tend to dying patients. Now, according to an article from Legacy, the top 5 most common regrets of the dying are: Number 1, wishing they had worked harder at their relationship with family and friends. Number 2, wishing they had expressed their feelings more often. Number 3, wishing they had taken more chances in life. Number 4, wishing they had stayed true to themselves. And number 5, wishing they had less regrets. Isn't that ironic? With that being said, here are the top 5 most common regrets of the dying told by hospice workers. Number 5, wishing they had worked harder at their relationship with family and friends. This is a regret that many hospice workers hear often from their patients. It seems that many people place too much emphasis on their work or other obligations, and not enough on their loved ones. When these same individuals are near death, they often express regret over not spending more time with family and friends. In particular, they may have lost touch with loved ones over the years, or let work or other obligations take precedence over relationships. As a result, they spend their final days wishing they had made more of an effort to stay in touch. For instance, one hospice worker shared the following story. "I once cared for a woman who was nearing the end of her life. She was surrounded by her family and friends as she passed away. Before she died, she told me that she had no regrets, except for one. She wished she had stayed in touch with a friend she had lost contact with years ago. They had been close as children but drifted apart as adults. She said she had thought about her friend often over the years and wondered how he was doing, but she never took the time to look him up or reach out to him. She said she regretted that decision and wished she had stayed in touch, wishing they had expressed their feelings more often." Another common regret hospice workers hear from patients is that they wish they had expressed their feelings more often. Many people hold back their emotions during their lives, whether out of fear of rejection, shame, or any other reason. As a result, they may find themselves unable to communicate effectively with others and unable to build meaningful relationships. Towards the end of their lives, they may come to realize the importance of expressing their feelings and may regret not doing so earlier. A hospice worker recounts the following experience. "I remember a patient of mine who was in his final days of life. He was a strong, silent type of man who didn't like to talk about his feelings. He had a wife and children, but even towards the end of his life, he never really opened up to them about how he felt. One day I was sitting with him and I asked him if he had any regrets. He told me that he wished he had expressed his feelings more often. He said he had a lot of love and appreciation for his family, but he never really told them how he felt. He said that he regretted that." Number 3, wishing they had taken more chances in life. One of the most common regrets of the dying is the wish that they had taken more chances in life. This could mean taking a chance on a new opportunity, pursuing a dream, or simply living life more fully. Many people play it safe throughout their lives, which can lead to a sense of regret later on. When faced with their own mortality, they may come to realize that life is short and that they should have taken more risks. A hospice worker shares the following story. "I had a patient who was in her late 70s. She was a very sweet lady who had a great sense of humor. Near the end of her life, she told me that she had no regrets, except for one. She wished she had taken more chances in life. She said that she always wanted to travel, but she never did. She said she always wanted to start a business, but she was too afraid of failure. She said that she spent her life taking care of everyone else and putting her own dreams on hold. And now it was too late. She said she regretted that." Number 2, wishing they had stayed true to themselves. Staying true to oneself can be challenging, especially in a world where there is so much pressure to conform. Many people put others' needs ahead of their own in order to be accepted or to please those around them. However, this can lead to a feeling of emptiness and regret later on. When faced with their own mortality, many people come to realize the importance of staying true to oneself and may regret not doing so earlier. A hospice worker recalls the following experience. "I once cared for a gentleman who was in his early 80s. He was a veteran who had served in World War II. He was a very proud man who always told me to call him sir. Near the end of his life, he told me that he had no regrets, except for one. He wished he had stayed true to himself. He said that he had been a fighter pilot in the war, and that he had always loved flying. After the war, he went to work for an airline, but he eventually became a manager and then an executive. He said that he had spent the last 40 years of his life working for the company, and that he had lost sight of his passion for flying. He said that he regretted that, wishing they had less regrets. Ironically, one of the most common regrets hospice workers hear from patients is that they wish they had less regrets. This is a common sentiment that resonates with many as it acknowledges the universal human experience of regret. It serves as a reminder that despite our best efforts, we all make mistakes and have things we wish we could change. The dying, when reflecting on their lives, are often confronted with the reality of their own mortality, which brings all of their past decisions and actions into sharp focus. A hospice worker shares the following story. I had a patient who was in his mid-90s. He was a very wise man who had lived a long and full life. Near the end of his life, he told me that he had no regrets except for one. He wished he had less regrets. He said that he realized that it was impossible to live a perfect life, but he wished he could go back and do some things differently. He said that he regretted the times he had been selfish or unkind, and he wished he could go back and apologize for those things. He also said that he regretted the times he had been too proud to ask for help, and he wished he had been more humble. Finally, he said that he regretted the times he had wasted, and he wished he had made the most of his opportunities. As we come to the end of this video, it is important to remember that while death is inevitable, life is not. We have the opportunity to make the most of every moment and to live a life that we can be proud of. By listening to the regrets of the dying, we can learn valuable lessons and strive to avoid repeating the same mistakes. We can also take comfort in knowing that we are not alone in our struggles, and that even those who have passed on before us have faced similar challenges and emotions. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and share it with your friends and family. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and we'll see you in the next video.